Swami, loving pranams at your lotus feet. Respected elders, dear brothers and sisters, a warm welcome to the 10th edition of Samarpan. If I have to talk about the speaker today, there are many ways in which I can introduce him, and I shall do so. But there's one thing which I'd like to start with. This speaker is somebody who, if I remember right, in the divine presence of Bhagwan at Dharmakshetra in Bombay, was divinely inspired by him to speak the following profound words. Prayer is man's only strength and God's only weakness. And imagine this being mentioned in the presence of the very divine. Dear brothers and sisters, it's a great pleasure, privilege to have as our speaker for the 10th edition of Samarpan, Sri Sanjay Sahani from Prashanthinilaya. Sahani sir, as we students lovingly refer to him, was part of the first batch of the 5 years integrated commerce program of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Those were the days when you could do BCom, and also provided you scored a minimum grade point average, you could also do, Master of Commerce without having to go through a hurdle of an additional entrance exam. So for us, it would primarily be the advantage of being able to spend time, 5 years in the divine presence. So he was part of the first batch from 1982 to 1987. His academic track record is exemplary. In fact, he was the gold medalist in both BCom as well as MCom in Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. Needless to say, he subsequently turned out to be an excellent teacher. And a lot of us fondly remember the lectures that we were a part of as part of the Commerce Department. He served Bhagwan's institution in various capacities. He was warden of the Prashanthinilaya campus of the Sri Sathya Sai Hostel. He was a lecturer in the Department of Commerce in Brindavan. And subsequently, in the year 2002, he took charge as the director of the Brindavan campus. In the year 2016, he commenced serving as the controller of examinations of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning. That's a position which he holds till date. One of the things which a lot of us fondly remember, students fondly remember, are the brilliant awareness classes that he would take. So I still cannot forget the notes that he gave from Ramakatha Rasavahini on the character of Lakshmana. And it was so beautifully expressed that it was as though Lakshmana would speak about his own character. And these are things which are etched in my mind. I think long years of association with Bhagwan, being completely drenched in his beautiful message, is what makes Sahani sir what he is. One of the things we'll fondly remember again is sir has been responsible for a lot of us getting the confidence to stand here at a podium and speak, because he would be in charge of the foyer sessions in Brindavan. So the very first time I stood in front of a podium is because Sahani sir nudged us to do this and says, please speak. And that is how many of us started our career in speaking. This is something which gives you a lot of opportunities in Bhagwan's divine presence. And one final thing which I'd like to recollect is, one of the things which really inspired us about Sahani sir is we saw Bhagwan's message getting played out in how he conducts himself. And he was a great inspiration, not just because of the words of wisdom that he shared, not just because of the scintillating experiences that he shared, but then because we saw Bhagwan's message shine through in all the actions that we were able to observe in Sahani sir day in and day out. With these words, let me once again welcome Sri Sanjay Sahani. Can we put together our hands again for him, please? Jai Sai Ram.
my loving pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet, esteemed elders, brothers and sisters. It's been a wonderful satsang for me ever since I stepped into Sundaram. Yesterday night, and we have been continuously drenched in the love of Bhagwan. Yesterday when I was just preparing to leave Prashantinilayam, one of our devotee brothers was conversing with me, and in the course of his conversation he said that he had an opportunity to ask one of the living saints of India, who has a large following all over the country and in many parts of the world as well, Amma, how do you see Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba? And what she said stupefied me. Not that we don't know, but sometimes Swami has this unique knack of making us speechless. She said, Bhagwan Baba is the Suryan who has no sunrise and no sunset. Imagine one of the saints of India, they are at a different level. How they visualize Bhagwan, how we visualize Bhagwan, we all know. But how the saints visualize Bhagwan, and then I thought to myself, Swami, if this is your effulgence, what foolishness is this that I am going to speak about you? It is like taking a lamp and in the light of a lamp asking everybody, do you see the sun? So however challenging the task, what gives me courage is his own words by which he would encourage me to share my thoughts and my experiences with the Lord in his divine presence. Samarpan is about a satsang which is centered on devotees' experiences with the Lord. One day on a Ram Navami day in Sai Ramesh Hall, Vrindavan, Swami said, who can vouchsafe for the avatar, for the divine incarnation? Who will stand witness? And Swami said, it is his devotees who will be the witness. When people ask, are you sure that he was divinity incarnate? And the devotees will get up and say, yes. On what basis do you say it is yes? Based on our heart's experience. And in the same way he said, who is it? Who is it who will stand witness to the devotee of the Lord? And Swami said, the only one who can truly act as a witness for the devotees is the Lord himself. So Samarpan is this opportunity to reflect on this beautiful bond that exists between the Lord and his beloved devotees. In Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Vaini, which Swami himself wrote, the life of Sri Krishna, in the very introductory chapter, Swami says, it is good to read the Bhagavatam. But better to read the Bhagavatam is to listen to the stories of the Lord. And even better than listening to the story of the Lord alone is to listen to the story in company. And even if you can get in that satsang people who are eager spiritual aspirants, you cannot imagine what is your fortune. And if your good luck happens that the narrator of the Lord's story has himself or herself experienced the Lord, then that kind of an opportunity is only given to the most fortunate. So, this is an opportunity where we are reflecting on the Lord and His story. Decades ago, in 1961, one day speaking in his discourse, Swami said, "Listen to my story. When you listen to my story, you forget the story of the world till a time comes when you have no story to relate to and live other than my story. To make you storyless is the scheme of Sai's story." About 3-4 years ago, I had just moved from Vrindavan to Prashantilalam, and in the discharge of my duties, I was searching for an examiner for a new course which had been started in a particular program. So I'd asked so many people, can you suggest somebody who can set a paper for our university students? And people were looking for it. Then suddenly I remembered, in the meantime, that in Vrindavan we used to have one visiting faculty who was a domain expert in that subject. So I rang up to him. He was in Bangalore. I rang up to him and said, "Sir, like this, there is a need. We need an examiner to set a question paper for our students. Will it be possible for you to do it?" And he was taken aback. He said, I have never done this. Then I said, "But you are the domain expert in this subject. And you are eminently qualified. Don't worry. I will send you the textbook of the students. And you read the textbook." I sent him a digital copy. And look at Swami's devotees. He was not satisfied with the digital copy. He went to market, purchased a personal copy, read the book, and set a question paper for us well in time. 2 weeks later, I was coming out of the South Indian canteen in Prashantilalam after lunch, and I suddenly bumped into this gentleman at the entrance. So I asked him, "Sir, how come you are here today?" He said, "What shall I say? Yesterday I was going to office, and even before I reached my office, suddenly I got excruciating pain in my stomach. I didn't even reach the office. I went straight to the hospital, and they diagnosed me with kidney stones and said, 'Sir, you get admitted today. Tomorrow we'll do the operation.'" Oh, in such a quick time to get that kind of a jolt for anybody is not easy to take. So he immediately rang up to our brothers in Vrindavan and he said, "This is my problem. What do you advise?" And one of our colleagues said, "Don't worry. We will ring up to Super Hospital and arrange. Please go immediately to Prashantilalam and meet our doctors there." So he said, "Today morning I went with all my medical reports and I met them and they diagnosed and they confirmed that, yes sir, you have kidney stone. But one thing, we'll give you some medication. Take these medicines for 15 days and if still it does not get resolved, then we will do the surgery." So I just thought to myself, here is a person in distress and what can I tell him? In those days, whenever we had any problem, we immediately rushed to Swami. And Swami will say, Parvaledu. And that's the end of the problem. But today, what do we do? So I thought, let me share my own experience with kidney stones. So I said, 9 years ago, I also, like you, had kidney stone problem. Swami, incidentally, was in Vrindavan. I got up in the morning, excruciating pain in the abdomen region. I can't sit, I can't stand, I can't lie down. Only those who have experienced it know what is being talked about. Otherwise, you don't even know what is this person saying. So I thought, in this condition, I cannot go to Sai Ramesh Hall anytime Swami is going to come for darshan. So I will see Swami through the window of my room, which overlooks the Sai Ramesh Hall. And sure enough, Swami came, he gave darshan and returned. I immediately rushed to the warden's office and explained my predicament. And he called a student and rushed me to the hospital. So I went to the doctor with this excruciating pain. And he was our hostel doctor also. And he said, yes, sir, this particular problem is kidney stone. I said, my God, something out of the blue, something is happening and you don't know how to respond, how to react. And said, I'll give you some painkiller for now. You please take rest in the hospital. At 3 o'clock, our doctors will, ultrasound specialist is coming, and she will look into and do all the necessary tests. So I took rest. At 3 o'clock, the doctor came and she started doing the ultrasound. And our hostel doctor also came to see, so eager to know what is the problem. And then Swami has trained his doctors extraordinarily well. How to relieve a patient who comes, who is in distress. Swami has really trained his doctors very, very well. So she started. You have diamonds in your stomach, she said. I thought to myself, I understood what she said. I said, who wants diamonds in the stomach? If it is there on your fingers, it is there on your ear, it is fine. But I don't want diamonds in the stomach. Then, to give some more consolation, she said, doctor here, he has had so many in the past like you. I said, let him have as many as he wants. I only know what I have gone through today morning. I have no, desire to emulate anybody in this regard. Anyway, the sum and substance of it was that it was confirmed that you are having kidney stones. And they said, sir, you need not have to be in the hospital today. You go back today and come back tomorrow. We have the urologist. You can consult him and he will tell you whatever needs to be done. When I returned to the hostel, our warden had in the afternoon gone to Swami and said, Swami, our doctors are saying that the principal is having kidney stones. And Swami said, hey, aim ledu, he said. It's all gas. Swami, you take big problem to him and he dismisses it as if, nothing has happened. So when I returned in the evening to the hostel, this is the report which I was given. Swami said, there's nothing, it's all gastric problem. So it's, he's dancing a little, that's all. Anyway, next day I went to the urologist. He did an X-ray. And he's looking at the X-ray report. He's looking left, he's looking right, he's looking top, he's looking bottom, back side, front side. Finally he said, we are not able to see where that stone is. Even if it was there, it must have got washed away. And then it struck me what Swami had said the previous day. Hey, it's not a stone. It's all gas. It's all gas. And the stone became gas. Because the X-ray couldn't discover it. So I narrated the story to our brother there. I said, for whatever it is worth, If it can give him some solace, some strength. Oh, I am not the only person who had this problem. Here is my brother here also who has had through similar kind of issues. And I went my way. 2 days later, I was waiting near my residence and I see this gentleman coming in a scooter as a pillion rider. So from far he saw me, I saw him, he waved to me, I waved to him. And then he asked the scooter driver to stop. He said, "You please go ahead, I'll meet sir and come." So that gentleman went away. I said, "How are you today?" He said, "What shall I say? I went to the super hospital again. They did my test again and they said, 'Sir, there are no kidney stones left in your body.'" I was so shocked. I said, "Swami, in my case, Swami articulated. He told with his lips, 'Hey, it's not any stone, it's all gas,' and it became gas. In this person's case, he heard somebody's story whose kidney stone became gas because Swami said. He did not get Swami's direct communication. He heard the story of somebody's kidney stone becoming gas on Swami's word, and the fruit of that, his stone also became gas. So can you imagine the power of listening to God's story? When I was a first-year undergraduate student, one day a senior brother in the hostel told me this and my heart literally sank. Apparently, in a discourse somewhere, Swami had said, to bring out the full glory of this avatar, I need lot of opposition. And if I don't get that opposition, I will purchase that opposition. The moment I heard that statement, I said, "Swami, you are one with unlimited resources. If the Lord goes on a shopping spree, He will buy us lock, stock and barrel. The whole of Chennai and 100 Chennais will be sold out. Because that is the Lord's power." So, the first opportunity I got to express my feelings to the Lord was on Dasara, when our warden selected me and Swami approved me and gave me that opportunity to speak in Dasara. So I was speaking in the Purnachandra auditorium. Of course, it was a very, very innocuous speech. What will be the experience of a first-year UG student, you can know. But I had planned my end very, very well. And I referred to this statement of Swami and I told him, "Swami, I have one prayer to do you. I have no desire to be part of your opposition party. I know you have terrific capacity to create your opposition, but I don't want to be in opposition party. I want to be in your party. I do not want to be called to that, referred and compared to that person who came to Chennai, who went to the ocean, who went and tasted the water of the ocean, and 1 week later, when he returned home, somebody asked him, 'Hey, you went to Chennai?' 'Yes, yes.' 'Did you go to Marina Beach?' 'Of course I went.' 'Did you go and dip yourself in the water?' 'Of course I went.' 'Did you taste the ocean water?' 'Of course. Who will go to the ocean and not taste the water?' First time I was going to Chennai, and then he said, 'How does the ocean water taste? How did that Chennai ocean water taste?' And he said, 'On 26th January when I was there, it was saltish, but today you are asking me, next time when I go, again I will taste and I will tell you how it tasted. I said, Swami, let it not fall to my lot to be compared with that fellow that he tasted the water, and yet when he was asked, did you find it saltish or not? He said, no, I cannot tell you. I have to taste once again, then only I will tell you. Faith in God is something, Swami used to say, if it is there, it will never go. It should not go. If it goes off, then that means what was there was not true faith. It is not dependent on whether your prayers to Swami are answered or not answered. It is not dependent on whether you wanted something from X or something from Y to be done and you pray to the Lord, Swami, please see to it that so and so does this for me, and he grants it to you. I remember one day some devotee had come to Vrindavan and they were sitting at Swami's lotus feet. So Swami said, every day I'm getting phone calls from Delhi. From whom? The then Prime Minister. There was a lot of political stability in the parliament and there was great risk of him losing power. So he was every day ringing up to Swami. And then Swami sent word to the Prime Minister, Prime Minister, your being Prime Minister is temporary. Your being ex-Prime Minister is permanent. Look at Swami, It's not that every time what we want, he tells us, he knows what is going to happen. If the Lord does not know what is going to happen, who do you think is going to know? When I look back on my own life, and I look back, I see how all the dots get connected. One day, it was just, I had become a faculty in the Prashanti campus. For 2.5 years, I had not gone to my native place where my parents were staying. And a need arose, some problem had to be addressed and I had to go. And I was praying for an opportunity to tell Swami. But anytime you are in darshan line, always somebody will be around you. So I'm wondering, Swami, how will I ever be able to tell you? One day, a day after I sent a letter to him, suddenly he was returning from the ladies' side. He climbed up the slope next to the interview room window and he saw me sitting somewhere in the front. He called me. And I rushed forward and we were all alone on the slope. See, look at Swami's strategy. He knows that I have a problem. He knows I want to tell him the problem. He knows that this kind of a thing he may not be able to tell in front of everybody. So he has called me and then I mentioned to him, of course, as usual, he pulled my leg. He said, oh, you want to leave and go? I said, no, Swami, this problem is there. How many days you will go? I don't know, Swami. You tell how many days I should go. And then he thought for a while. He said, go for 15 days. I said, okay. So I booked my ticket and just after the birthday, I was to leave. So I sat. I was part of the band group also. So the band boys were sitting in the front after birthday to thank Swami. So when Swami came near us, I got up and said, Swami, I am going today. And I had not even known whether my ticket was confirmed or not. I had asked somebody to book a ticket. But he assured your ticket will be booked. Swami said, don't go today, go tomorrow. Post birthday, you have a ticket in your hand which got confirmed when I went and met that person. And I had to go and tell him, sorry sir, I'm very, very sorry. I am not able to go today because Swami told me to go tomorrow. Why he told you to go tomorrow? That part I don't know. I had no courage to tell him, can you get me a ticket for tomorrow? So I said, I have troubled him enough, so let me forget. I'll see what happens. So he said, don't worry, I will get it cancelled and I will do the needful. He had taken his own money and purchased the ticket also, but he didn't mind it. So, for no reason, I don't know why, but that is why it's so important. See, if you don't trust God, especially in our initial stage, till faith comes, till you accept Him, it's fine. There's no problem. You may put all your conditions to Swami, unless 1, 2, 3, 4 happens, then only I will accept. And he is also willing. You put all your conditions. 1, 2, 3, 4. But this is what Swami would say about faith. After you have satisfied yourself completely and accepted the Lord as the Lord of your heart, then it is not dharma to again deny Him. It's not dharma to deny Him. Just because He didn't fulfill this desire of yours or that desire of yours. So, from that point of view, next day, with an unreserved ticket, I was waiting at Dharmavaram railway station, waiting for Karnataka Express to come. And when it arrived, I was so surprised. I'm thinking, in such a jam-packed train, will I get a chance to sit on a seat and I have to travel for almost 1.5 days? And when the train arrived on Dharmavaram railway station, half the train is empty. I was shocked. And then only I realized later, it was election day. It was the time when VP Singh got elected as the Prime Minister. And so most of the people are in their respective places voting. So on the election day, people were not traveling. So half the train is empty. So I literally walked into whichever compartment I wanted to, because half the train is empty. And I was hoping the TT will come. No TT came that day because half the train is empty. They are also relaxing. Anyway, we will do it. There's a long journey. We will check up. So next day the TT comes and I was sitting on some random seat. He said, where you want to go? He said, I'm going to Delhi. Okay, take this ticket. He issued. And that was done with it. So I reached Delhi, and as Swami assured, within 15 days I was to come back. The problem which I had to go for got automatically resolved. I did not even have to do anything. And then I realized one very important thing. See, when we walk on the path of Sai, it's not that you have to tell God, do this, do that. It's not required. When you walk in step with Sai, every obstacle on your path, which will be there to take you closer to Him, which will make you dearer to Him, every obstacle He will remove. All that you need to do is to walk on the path that He has shown to us. And I was so surprised, for what I came to Delhi, the problem is resolved. But one thing interesting happened. My sister, who was an artist, was putting up her first painting exhibition. And it was scheduled for a particular date. Something happened and the date got postponed. And it so happened the date got postponed to the very day on which was my departure back to Prashantilayam. If Swami had not delayed my departure from Patti by 24 hours, I would have left as per his command, and knowing me, Swami would know for sure that this fellow will come back one day. So to ensure that I am there for my sister's exhibition, he Saw to it, I attended it. There was no time to come back home. From the exhibition, straight I went to railway station and I returned to Parthi. When I came back, our Vice Chancellor said, for this year's sports meet, we are having a drama. I said, is it, sir? And Swami is very eagerly waiting for you to return. We thought we will allot all the roles. I'm not even there in Prashantilayam, so all the roles are allotted. But he has kept one role for you in the drama because he wanted you also to be. And when we asked him, Swami said he is coming on this date. So Swami is, he has calculated the whole thing, and I felt so touched by it. I said, in the whole universe, there is someone who waits for you. Someone who waits for you. Will anybody wait for you if he does not love you? The greatest secret of Bhagwan is, and I can openly tell, how much he loves each one of us. Mark my words. It's not that only the person who is in front of the mic is somebody whom he loves. Every one of us sitting in the hall and every person on the street is loved by the Lord. The only thing is, he never allows us to know how much he loves us. The day we realize, I tell you, that day, from that day, our lives will never be the same again. So, when he told you have to be in the drama, I said, sir, what is the role I have to play? And they said, Swami has selected you to play the role of the principal in a drama. And after a few rehearsals were over, when Vrindavan teachers came, they said, Swami was telling us that, you are playing a principal's role, and it seems you are a villainous principal. He wanted us to play the role of a mother-in-law. So, from that point of view, I was very surprised. But the point is, I was just a young faculty in the university. 9 years later, Swami asked me to take the responsibility of principal, or later on nowadays it is called the director of Vrindavan campus. And then I thought to myself, my God, 9 years ago, when I was not even there, so that means he's already seeing something, and he sees us through and through. Through and through he sees us. See, there's a beautiful dialogue which takes place with Prahalad and his friends. One day, in their ashram, Prahalada and his friends were with the Guru, and Guru said, see, today I have some urgent work, I have to go to bazaar, some urgent shopping and all. So all of y'all, don't waste time, study your lessons properly, and I'll be back in quick time. Now when the Guru is not there, which student is going to open the books? So all the youngsters, they decided, we will all play. So Prahalada tells his friends, come on, let us play a very ancient game. I said, ancient game? Which is that game? Tell us. He said, we will play hide and seek. Hide and seek? Which child has not played hide and seek? That game we all know. He said, shall I tell you who are the people who played this game for the first time? Then they said, okay, we know hide and seek, but who played it for the first time, you please tell. So he said, there were two friends. One was Paramatma and the other was Jivatma. And one day Paramatma proposes to his friend Jivatma. He said, come, we will play a game of hide and seek. So Jivatma asks, friend, tell me what are the rules of the game? So he explained, these are the rules. So Jivatma, he looks at the whole situation. He said, okay, first round, I will do the hiding, you find me out. And after that, as per the rules of the game, we will reverse our roles. So, as expected, our Jivatma went and hid under a bush. And now he is hiding, thinking, now let me see how quickly Paramatma catches me. In no time, his friend Paramatma comes and walks up to him. Hey Jivatma, you are here, I caught you, I caught you. So Jivatma says, hey, how come you know me? How come you know me? How did you know that I was hiding here? And when I was narrating this to the students, I shared this conversation that Swami had with one member of our Prashanti Bhajan group, a very old devotee, Sri Krishnadas Iradi. One day Swami was speaking to him. He said, Krishna, when I see any individual, I don't see them. I see them not only as they are when they are at that point of time. I see 1,000 janmas which have gone by and 1,000 janmas which are yet to come. 2001 janmas, I am seeing that soul and the entire history of the past history and the future history, everything I'm seeing in half a second. And with that awareness, Swami would interact with each one of us. So, to such a person you say, hey, Paramatma, how do you know that I am here? What does he not know? What does he not know? So then it is now the turn of Jivatma to search out his friend. So Paramatma goes into hiding. And when he goes into hiding, Jivatma is searching. Years pass, decades pass, long time pass. And yet Jivatma is not able to find his friend Paramatma. One day he gets exhausted and he says, Paramatma, my friend, where are you hiding? I don't know where you are. And suddenly he hears this echo of the voice of his friend and he says, these are beautiful lines of Sant Kabir. He says, Moko kahan dhoond re bande, main to tere paas mein, main to tere vishwas mein. Where are you searching for me, O friend? I am near you. I am in your faith. I am in your faith, in your vishwas. If you think I am here, I am here. If you think I am not here, I am not there. So do we have that faith that Swami is there with me? See, if you have that faith, and that is the faith which we should cultivate, that is the faith we need to give to our younger generation. Today I was with a family, and that small daughter in the family, I don't know, 4 years old or 3 years old, and one of her biggest complaints against all of her family members and all our elders and all her grandparents and her uncles is, how come you all saw Swami and I have not been able to see Swami? I also want to see Swami. He says that, see, if you have that strong inclination, God cannot but come in front of you. And this is my experience with any number of people. One day I was in Vrindavan. A friend of mine rang up. It was Sunday morning, like today. And he said, sir, a friend of mine is coming to Vrindavan Ashram. He is coming for the first time. They are Shirdi Baba devotees. And then he said, sir, if you remember in the Shirdi Sai Charitra, in the 9th chapter, there is this reference to the Tarkad family, where, there is this son and mother who come to Shirdi, and the son didn't want to come, and then the father assured that, don't worry, I will do all the ritual worship for your Shirdi Baba's photo in the altar, you go freely. And when they come to Shirdi, Shirdi Baba tells to the mother and child, son, that, I was so hungry today, I went to your home and I found that nothing was there and I had to come back hungry. And then the son realized that some garbada has taken place at home, father has forgot to do his worship. And the father there, he used to every day offer Naivedyam to the Lord, and afternoon when he comes back from office at lunchtime, his servant was supposed to offer that as prasad. They said, get the prasad. And the servant said, sir, there is no prasad, you forgot. And then he also felt sad. So they sent letters to each other, and this boy wants to run home, but Shirdi Baba said, don't worry, you came with that intent, you stay here as long as you want. So that story is documented, this gentleman who came to meet me was the son of the sun. So we met I told him I have a little meeting in the adjacent Kalyan Mandap. Our alumni were organizing some program preparing for 90th birthday of Swami. So I'll finish that and then I will come and meet this gentleman. So when I came back from that program, I was in the warden's office with him. And when two devotees meet, what will they discuss? So I asked him, sir, how have you experienced Shirdi Sai? And he narrated a beautiful experience. And then he asked me, has Satya Sai Baba given you anything? And I thought to myself and I said, what has he not given me? The clothes I wear, the watch I wear, the ring also which I have on my fingers, even that he has given to me. And then I started narrating, because something happened just a fortnight before that. I started narrating a story about this ring. Some devotee in Europe wrote on my official mail ID, sorry sir, I'm writing to you on your official mail ID. I did not find anybody else, that's why I'm writing to you. Just like you, Swami also gave me a green ring. So I just want to ask you, when I look into my green ring, I see Swami in my ring. So I'm not sure whether I'm really seeing him or I'm hallucinating. So I just wanted to ask anybody else whom Swami has, he was thinking that maybe green ring means you will see Swami. So he asked me in the mail, sir, do you also see Swami in your ring? So I said, my dear, one thing I will tell you, I am not seeing Swami in my ring. So it's true, Swami also gave me a green ring, but I don't see Swami. But just because I am not seeing, don't falsify your own experience, because so many people Swami has given a ring and in their rings they have been getting darshan of Swami. So don't falsify your experience just based on mine. So I was narrating this to this gentleman. He was sitting in front of me. A few minutes later he came and sat next to me and started looking at my ring. And after some time he suddenly came forward and said, sir, I want to tell you something. I said, what? Sir, at this moment, I am seeing Satya Sai Baba in your ring. I got, my God, I was only telling him a story of somebody in Europe seeing it. He said, first time this person is coming to Swami's place. Though they were old Shirdi Sai devotees, first time he is coming, and he said, initially I thought that it may be the reflection of Swami's photo behind us. Then I realized that in the photo behind, it is Swami in orange robe, but in your photo, I am seeing him in white robe. So then only I realized that it is not a reflection, I am actually seeing Swami. So I was so stunned. I said, sir, something I should also tell you, because Swami would wear white robe either on convocation or birthday or Christmas. It was not something which he would wear every day. So when you say that you got darshan of Swami in white robe, the communication I am getting is, just now we were planning for all birthday programs of Swami. Hey, I know what you all are planning and I'm overhearing everything that you all are doing. So by giving you darshan in white robe, in my ring, I also am getting a message. And I thought to myself, Swami, that gentleman for the first time came to ashram, your place, and got darshan. Where did he get darshan? In my ring he is getting darshan. So where is Swami? How close is a Swami? One day I was telling to students in the Divine Presence in Trai, and it's a padyam of Swami. And he says, I am in front of you, behind you, above you, below you, all around you, and all that I said, and I stopped. And then finally he said, I am with you. He corrected me, completed me. I am with you. See, it is not an ordinary statement. Never ever feel in life, no matter what happens, that you are alone. One day, 2007, we had an international youth conference at Prashantlim. And one youngster asked this question, sometimes I feel lonely in life and what to do and something like that. And the question was posed to me. I said, what do you mean? Those who have found God in life, where is the question of loneliness? And I narrated this experience. One day, I was in Vrindavan. I was the principal sitting in my office, and a colleague of mine walks in, and he says, sir, my wife is in the hospital for the last 3 days, and she has been in coma. Is there some way we can communicate this to Swami? Swami was at that time in Parthi. For a few seconds, for 2 seconds, I felt, Swami, at this moment, we are really missing you. If Swami was in Vrindavan, we were just gone there and Swami, this problem, please help us. But Swami is in Parthi and we are here. But then I thought and collected my thoughts and I immediately told him, first things first, go to post office, immediately send telegram to Swami that this is the situation. I finished my work in the office and reached my residence at 1 o'clock. The moment I opened my room, the phone rings. I pick up the phone and my colleague is there on the line. And he said, sir, as you instructed, advised, I went to the post office, I sent the telegram, I came back home. The moment I came home, I got a phone message from my brother-in-law who is with my wife in the hospital and said, at this moment, just now we got message that your wife has come out of coma. Where is Swami? At that moment I felt, Swami, what is loneliness for a person when you feel that God is always with you, which is not just any other statement of the Lord. Every sentence that Swami spoke, one day he was telling me, he said, every word I speak is a mantra. Every, place, inch of soil that I have stepped on is a punya kshetra. We're having this satsang in Sundaram. It's not an ordinary place. It is not an ordinary place. We could have done 100 things today evening, but we gave up all those activities and we came here to participate in a satsang which is only centered on thinking about the Lord. And that thought is intended to instill that faith in us that no matter what happens in our life, He is always going to be. God is always there with us. Never forget to depend for anything and everything in life. One day in a talk in UK, I reminded the devotees there that one day in a discourse, Swami said, in India, the devotees pray to me even for a bus ticket. Means even for a bus ticket, Swami, please let me get a bus ticket. So when I told it to devotees in UK, they said, here we pray to Swami. Swami, please see to it that we get car parking space. So, in our relationship with the Lord, that arthi and artharthi. Arthi is person in distress. Artharthi is Swami, this and that. He is willing to fulfill whatever it is that we want from Him. And it's a beautiful stage in our association with Him. But He wants that we graduate to a stage when we recognize that you don't even have to ask. Because everything He has already planned for you, already scheduled for you, already decided for you. So you don't have to worry about it. Live in this moment and do your task to the best of your capacity and do it with love. See, Swami did not want any of his Sai centers to become a mandir. It's not a mandir. It's a seva kendra. Because once you get into that mandir temple concept, you have to have puja, you have to have ritualistic whatever thing. He wanted his centers to become service centers. And wherever you go in the country or wherever you go into the world, his centers have become transmitters of Bhagwan's love through service. Today, we were in the Chennai railway station and they have this public utility service which is rendered, and today was also prasadam distribution. So there was one lady there. We were a little late for the distribution. The food was getting cooked and packed. She waited for 45 minutes to just get that one packet of annam from Swami's devotees. Swami himself said one day he was distributing apples in the mandir. So he thought to himself, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So Swami distributed to the students, came up to this gentleman and he said, what you're thinking, is it correct? He became silent because what he's thinking, what is Swami thinking, he had no clue. So he said, Swami, I was thinking an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Is it correct? Then he said, no Swami, it cannot be correct, because otherwise everybody will eat apple every day and nobody will fall sick, everybody will be hale and hearty. Swami said, no, it is correct. It is correct? How, Swami? How it is correct? And then he said, it is correct because the apple I give is not merely an apple, it is a symbol of my grace. And when you have my grace, all the problems will disappear like cloud just going through the skies. So when we have, the most important thing today that we have to remind ourselves is that Bhagwan is there. Bhagwan came to tell us, see, God is always there for you. He will never be away from us. But feel that when He is there with you, you must also transmit to everybody who comes into your orbit that principle for which Swami stood for. I'll end with this last small conversation. Swami was discussing menu with some people. For the 6th consecutive time, this devotee found that Swami selected for the menu jangri sweet. So he spontaneously told Swami, Swami, you love jangri? See, he never ate sweets himself, he would only distribute. So he thought, for the 6th time, as if there is no other sweet in the world, Swami is selecting jangri. So he said, Swami, you love jangri? And then Swami said, see, in the jangri sweet, you find so many these small circles are there. He said, in every individual's life, there are these twists and turns. Everything is going fine. Suddenly, things become topsy-turvy. You don't know what is sun and what is night, day, night, or everything goes topsy-turvy. In every individual's life it will happen. In every individual's life it will happen. But Swami said, but those people who, in spite all of the twists and turns in their life, still give sweetness to anybody who comes into their orbit, I love such people. And that is why I love jangri sweet. My God, I was stunned. I said, Swami, if we see jangri sweet, we'll think how quickly we can have off. And if somebody is willing, left and right, to give their share also, some more comes to our quota. Swami can take a jangri sweet. So, what Sai devotees need to do today is that you don't have to do anything great or extraordinary. Mother Teresa once said, people think for love to be loved, they have to do something extraordinary. She said, no, that is not required. What is required is the ability and the capacity to love without getting tired. Without getting tired. So when we do our seva, Swami would say, serve that you be saved. Serve that you be saved. And therefore, when we take up seva, know for sure that it is a blessing on us. It is a blessing on us to sanctify our time, our life, and to transmit Swami's love to anybody and everybody. So, Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba was the avatar of love. In this year, 95th year of the advent of Bhagwan, if there's one thing we should remind ourselves, Swami was love. Each of his devotees also should become practitioners of love. In the way we express our words, in the way we have our dealings with our family members, with our Samiti members, with our office going staff, with people in the community, and even with strangers. Anybody and everybody we meet, we must be able to transmit that love that Swami stood for. And please remember, it is not dependent on what the other person is doing. When we become and we belong to Swami, we lose the right to become ourselves what we were yesterday. We lose the right to become like anybody else in the world, because now you don't belong to the world, you belong to Sai. And therefore, in your words, in your thoughts, in your deeds, you must reflect that Sai. Today, that time has come when Swami earlier used to be in the driving seat and all of us used to be passengers in the vehicle. As our All India President, Mr. Nimish Pandya, once expressed, time has come today when Swami is putting on the driver's seat and he is on the back seat. He said, you do everything. I want my devotees to get all the credit. And he is the wind beneath our wings. Without him, there's nothing which we can do. One last episode. See, because sometimes when we do something and we do it well, we think, I have done. Without Sai, without the power of God, what can you do? This conversation took place 1969. This person was sharing with me. He was having lunch with Swami and a new cook had cooked some dishes. And Swami said, oh, the sambar is so... First, the dal was served to Swami. Pappu. Swami said, today's pappu is so delicious. Who cooked the pappu today? And this man said, Swami, I only have cooked the pappu. Wonderful, wonderful. What delicious pappu it is today. Then after that, Swami took rasam. He said, wow, what a rasam today. I have not tasted rasam like this. Who cooked the rasam? And our man said, Swami, I only have cooked this rasam. So wonderful, so wonderful. Then after that, Swami took buttermilk. Curds he was not taking. He took buttermilk. He said, my Lord, the deliciousness of this buttermilk. Who prepared this buttermilk? He said, Swami, I only have prepared. So nice, so nice. Meal got over. And then Swami took his tumbler of water and he had a sip. And he said, the water today is so sweet. Who prepared this water? And our man couldn't resist saying, Swami, I only prepared this water. I only prepared this water. See, this is the mistake which we as devotees of Sai should never. He gives us an opportunity to do good. He gives us an opportunity to serve. He gives an opportunity to love anybody and everybody. See, unless whom can he send to us other than his own people whom he knows practice his teachings? So one day somebody in Swami's presence in Kodaikanal told, Swami, all our political leaders and all the parliamentarians and all the members of the assembly, they should be oriented in Swami's teaching. Swami said, not required. If my students and my devotees follow my words and live up to my teachings, it's more than enough. And today is that hour. Samarpan is an opportunity to instill that assurance in our hearts that when people get up to say, who is Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba, we will stand up to say, not through our lips, but through our actions, Bhagavan Sri Satya Sai Baba is love. Jai Sai Ram.
Since this was the 10th edition of Samarpan, naturally, I was tempted to think about the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And the essence of the 10th chapter is the Lord says that all the beauty, all the power that you see in the world is only a small fraction of what I really am. I'm grateful to Bhagwan that he has sent one of his own Sanjayas in the form of Sanjay Sahani sir to share a glimpse of the divine glory. Sir, as a mark of our affection, would be grateful if you can accept a small token. May I request Sri T.J. Krishnamurthy, former State President of Sri Satya Sai Organization, and an erudite speaker himself, to hand over this token of love to Sahani sir.